Welcome to the Lifetime Assembly channel. My name is John, and today I'm going to help you assemble your Big Stuff 2-slide swing set. Before we get started, make sure the model number of your swing set is listed in the description below. This video will follow the steps outlined in the assembly manual that comes with the swing set. If you've already begun and need help on a specific step, check the comments or description below for a timestamp associated with each step. The swing set comes in several boxes and pieces, but it all comes on one big pallet. So let's take a look at what you should have received. There are steps within this assembly that require more than one person, so be sure to have at least one other adult available to help. Before we begin the assembly process, let's take a look at the tools you'll need to complete the job. You'll need a ladder, a Phillips head bit, a Phillips head screwdriver, a rubber mallet, a socket wrench, a 7/16 wrench, a 1/2-inch wrench, two 3/16 Allen keys, which are included, a 1/4-inch drill bit, a 3/8 drill bit, a drill. You may just use an impact driver. If you decide to use one as well, be sure not to over torque or over tighten the hardware, and safety glasses. To make this easier, we're going to use a socket adapter, a 1/2-inch socket, and a 3/16 hex head socket. When building the swing set, make sure to choose a level area free from any obstructions, at least 7 feet from buildings, trees, fences, or any other object. Also, to reduce the risk of injury, it's important that you prepare a shock-absorbing surface to build your swing set on, such as recycled rubber mulch or wood chips. This video will focus on the assembly of the swing set and not the shock-absorbing surface, so it's crucial that you refer to your assembly manual to review the safety instructions for this build. This video is meant to be used as a companion to the assembly manual and not a direct replacement. So for the best results, make sure to have the assembly manual on hand during the build. All right, let's get started. Insert the short swing bar into the long swing bar and secure with the hardware. Attach the pendulums to the swing bar, making sure not to over tighten the hardware because you want the pendulums to swing freely. Take the short pole that has a small hole here and a long pole that has 4 small holes and slide them together, making sure that the small holes are on the same side. Secure the poles together through this hole here. Take another short pole that has a small hole here and a long pole that has no small holes and slide them together. Secure the poles together through this hole here. Take 2 short poles that are tapered at one end and slide them onto the 2 long poles. Secure the poles together through these holes here. Take one of the poles from the previous step and slide it onto the long swing bar. Line up the holes and secure with the hardware. Slide the other pole into the long swing bar. Line up the holes and secure with the hardware. Take the pole that does not have the warning label and slide it into this opening on the short swing bar, making sure that this small hole is facing out. Line up the holes and secure with the hardware. Slide the pole with the warning label into this opening on the short swing bar, making sure that these small holes are facing out. Line up the holes and secure with the hardware. Attach the turn bar to the two legs that are connected to the long swing bar. With the help of another person, lift the A-frame assembly up onto its feet. Go to each leg and insert the foot cap into the bottom and secure with the plug. Refer to your instruction manual to confirm you're using the correct poles for this step. Slide the short poles onto the long poles. Secure the two poles together through these two holes with the hardware. Take the end cap and insert them into the end of the long pole. Refer to your instruction manual to confirm you're using the correct deck support for this step. Connect the deck support to these two poles, making sure that these small holes are facing down and that the small holes on the poles are facing in. Connect the cross brace to the tubes and deck support through these holes. Insert the end cap into the deck support tube. Make sure all the hardware is tight before inserting these caps. Before moving on to the next step, have another person help you flip the assembly over. Take the long deck support tube, make sure that the tab is facing in and on the top of the pole, and that these small holes are facing down, and then secure it to the pole with the hardware. Then insert the plug into the bottom of the deck support. Secure the deck support to the tube with the cross brace. Connect the long deck support tube with the Lifetime logo to the opposite side with the hardware. The bolt may appear to be too long, but will be utilized later on in the assembly. Now insert the cap into the bottom of the deck support. Now secure the deck support to the pole with the cross brace. Take the short deck support tube with the Lifetime logo and place it onto the long deck support tubes and secure with the hardware. Take the inside deck support and place it inside the frame and secure with the hardware. With the help of another person, lift the deck frame assembly up onto its feet and place the short deck support tube with the Lifetime logo up against the A-frame assembly. Line up the holes in the short deck support with the holes in the A-frame and secure with the hardware. Once the hardware is tight, go ahead and place the caps over the ends. Your cargo net leg and ladder leg will look like this. Place your cap onto the top of each one. Take the ladder leg, which is the leg with the small holes, and line up the nut at the top with this hole and secure with the hardware. Remove the nut from this bolt, then use the bolt to secure the cargo net leg. The cargo net will have two small loops at the top and bottom. Slide the larger loops onto the legs we just added, making sure that the loops with the eye bolts are at the top. insert the eye bolts into these holes from the back side and secure with the hardware. Slide the cargo net tube through the bottom loops. Then place your end caps onto the pole. Line up the ends of the pole with the holes at the bottom of each leg. Insert the foot cap into the bottom of each leg. Make sure everything lines up and secure with the hardware. Attach the ladder rung to the A-frame leg and the ladder leg. You may need to push the cargo net out of the way. Slide the seat stop onto the ground pole, lining up the holes in the seat stop with the lowest set of holes on the ground pole. Once the holes are lined up, add the hardware and secure. Take the bushing, making sure that the notches on the inside are facing up, and then slide it down onto the seat stop. Slide the spacer into the top of the seat support. Slide the seat onto the seat support. Line up the arrows on the bottom of the seat with the holes in the seat support, and then secure with the hardware. Slide the seat onto the ground pole, making sure that the notches in the bushing rest into these notches. Make sure that the spacer at the top of the seat support does not come off as you do this. Slide the handle onto the ground pole, line up the holes in the ground pole with the holes in the handle, and secure with the hardware. Insert a spacer into the bottom of the top bracket. Slide the top bracket over the ground pole, then place the plug at the top of the ground pole. Place the assembly underneath the deck and then lift the top bracket up until the holes in the top bracket line up with the holes in the deck. At this point, it may be a good idea to fill this hole with the required hardware. You can see us do this at the end of step 8.3. With the help of another person, lift the mini go-round up so you can insert the rebar into the ground. Since we're inside, we're not going to be able to do that, but it's important that you do. When inserting the rebar, make sure to leave about 6 inches remaining so you can slide the mini go-round back down over the rebar to hold it into place. Once you've completed the previous steps, you can now secure the mini go-round in place by inserting a screw through the hole closest to the top bracket assembly. Take the floor panels and slide them onto the deck, making sure that the tabs that are protruding are in the middle. One of the tabs is higher and one of the tabs is lower, so make sure that the higher tab overlaps the lower tab. Secure the handrail that only has one handhold to each corner of the deck through the end that only has one hole, and only finger tighten the hardware for now. Add a handrail that has two handholds to the center hole that's closest to the ladder and the cargo net. Now that all the handrails are in position, you can go ahead and tighten all the hardware. On this hole, opposite the handrail that has two handholds, insert the hardware. Secure the deck to the frame through the holes with the self-tapping screws. The screws are designed to go through the metal, so make sure your drill is fully charged and on the highest torque setting. Take the two short square tubes and insert a plug into each end, making sure that the notch in the plug lines up with the hole in the pole. Take the square tube that does not have any holes in the middle and place it onto the side of the deck that does not have a handrail in the middle. Take the other square tube that has the holes in the middle and secure it to all of the other handrails. Take a long square tube that has an oblong hole in the middle and attach it to the handrails closest to the A-frame, making sure that the three small holes are facing down and that the two smaller holes next to the oblong hole are closer to the ladder. It may be helpful to attach it to the A-frame first through the oblong hole in the middle. Take the other long square tube and attach it to the other side, making sure that the end with the three holes is closer to the cargo net and facing up. Now secure the handrail to the top of the pole, making sure to add a plug to the opposite side. Once you've got the hardware tight, go ahead and add the cap to the top of the pole, making sure that the notches in the cap line up with the holes in the pole. There are 5 indentations along each edge of the climbing wall panels. Drill out all 20 indentations with a 1/4 inch drill bit. Take the longer wall support and place it on the recess on the edge of the wall panel, making sure that one of the holes lines up with the hole in the middle of the wall panel. Secure the wall to the support through the center hole. Finish securing the wall panel to the wall support through the 2 remaining holes. There are no pre-drilled holes in the wall support, but the screws are designed to go through the metal. Add the short wall support to the other end of the wall panel, lining up the hole at the end of the wall panel with the hole in the wall support. Then secure the wall panel to the wall support through the remaining hole. Keep in mind there are no pre-drilled holes in the wall support. Bring the 2 halves of the walls together, line up the holes in the wall supports with the holes in the panel, and secure with the hardware. With the help of another person, lift the rock wall up against the deck. If the large openings on your wall panels don't match what's in the manual, that's okay, so long as the large openings are on opposite ends. Secure the wall panel to the pole through the pre-drilled hole. Secure through the remaining holes in the wall panel. Keep in mind there are no pre-drilled holes in the pole, but the screws are designed to go through the metal. As you do this, try to keep the edge of the wall panel centered on the pole. Place the chalkboard up against the A-frame and line up the holes at the top of the chalkboard with the holes at the bottom of the rail. Connect the bottom of the chalkboard to the A-frame, making sure to add your spacer between the chalkboard and the A-frame. Take the round pole with 4 holes and attach it to the protruding ends of the handrails. Do this for the opposite side as well. Once the hardware is tight, go ahead and add the caps in the ends, making sure that the notch in the cap lines up with the bolt inside. Connect the truss tubes together, making sure that the small holes are facing up, and repeat this step 3 more times for a total of 4 trusses. Place the roof trusses onto the tube, lining up the holes at the end of the trusses with the holes in the tube. Remember, the small holes in the trusses need to be facing up. Place the caps on the end of the trusses, making sure that the notches in the cap line up with the hardware inside. Place the roof panels up onto the trusses, making sure that the tip of the trusses goes into these notches. Align the holes in the roof panel with the holes in the trusses and then secure with the hardware. Add a roof panel to the opposite side using the same method. The lower roof panel will slide underneath the previous roof panel. On the open side of the deck, there are divots underneath that need to be drilled out with a 3/8 drill bit. They're labeled with letters, so drill out the letters D, B, E. On the other panel, there are more divots to drill out, so drill out F, H, J. The slides have two pieces, an upper piece and a lower piece, and eventually will be connected together. On the upper pieces, locate these 4 divots and drill them out with a 3/8 drill bit. Take the lower pieces, locate these 4 divots, and drill them out with a 3/8 drill bit. Connect the 2 halves of the slides together. Secure the 2 halves of the slide together, making sure to add your slide bracket to one of the edges. Repeat the previous steps for the other slide, making sure to put the slide bracket on the opposite side. On the opposite side of the upper slide, drill out the 3 divots. With the help of another person, lift the slides onto the holes on the deck that we drilled out earlier, making sure that the brackets at the bottom of the slide are next to each other. Secure the slides to the deck with the hardware. Now connect the 2 brackets at the bottom of the slide. Connect the binocular bracket to this hole here with the hardware. Then connect the binoculars to the bracket with the hardware, but don't over tighten because you want the binoculars to rotate. Insert the bolt into the clicker like this. Then attach the clicker to the handrail with the hardware. Secure the steering wheel to the clicker with the hardware. Push the cap onto the steering wheel until it's flush. Now go ahead and attach the swings and trapeze swing bar to the pendulums. This model comes with an optional spider swing. In order to put that up, you need to remove 2 swing units. When attaching the spider swing, hook the rings onto the 2 furthest open pendulums. Lastly, fill this hole with the hardware. Thank you for watching this video on how to assemble your Lifetime Big Stuff 2-slide swing set. If you found this video helpful, give us a thumbs up. For more content like this, subscribe to our channel. If you have any other questions, feel free to reach out to our customer service team and check out our other awesome products at lifetime.com.